My name is Dr. Margaret Hale, and I would like to welcome you to SED 4312, Teaching English in the Secondary School. For our first week in class, we will not be meeting face-to-face. You all will have some online work to do, which I'm going to take a minute to explain tonight. Many of you are enrolled in this at the same time in English 4319 with Dr. Jennifer Wingard. So she and I have collaborated, and we are offering our courses on the same night, alternating, where one week she meets with the group face-to-face, and the next week I meet with the group face-to-face. Some of you may have already taken English 4319, and that's fine, or maybe it's not on your degree plan, and that's fine too. Regardless, for this section of SEDE 4312, we will only be meeting face-to-face every other week. And on the weeks in between, you will have some online expectations. So just a little bit of brief information. I've pulled up the syllabus for you, and you'll be able to see it on your screen. Here's my telephone number. That's my office number. Anytime you're trying to get hold of me, if you'll call that number, even if I don't answer, it's important that you leave a voicemail, because that voicemail automatically gets sent to my work email and I can listen to it from anywhere. Okay, so know that it's very easy to access me via that phone number. You can also email me. That's another easy way to contact me. Just like most people today, my work email comes to my cell phone, so I tend to read work email all the time. I will tell you that I am not a night owl. I know many of you are. If you send me an email after about 10 o'clock, chances are I'm not going to read it till the next morning, so don't be surprised if I don't email you till the next day. But I think that's acceptable. My office is in room 242 in Farish Hall. That is inside the Curriculum and Instruction Suite. So when you come over to Farish Hall, up on the second floor, come down to the CUIN office. It's behind the glass doors down by the water fountain. That's where you'll find me. My office is within that suite of offices. Generally, my office hours, my official office hours, are going to be 10 to 2 on Mondays and then 11 to noon on Thursdays. On the weeks that we meet face-to-face, I teach a class, another class, Thursday afternoons from 1 to 4. So if you want to stop by between 4 and 5:30 when our class starts, feel free. I'm usually going to be here. On the weeks that you're with Dr. Wingard, if you need to drop in, like I said, I'm teaching till 4 o'clock on Thursdays, so it would be easy to find me before you pop over to her class. On the nights that we do meet face-to-face, our course is going to be located in room 250 here in Farish Hall. So just a quick overview of the textbooks. Know that if you are co-enrolled in English 4319, the books that you're using for Dr. Wingard are the same books that you're using for me. So you can see right here we have 2 books by Kylene Beers and Bob Probst. The first one is Notice and Note, Strategies for Close Reading. That one focuses on close reading of fictional texts. The second one, Reading Nonfiction, Notice and Note Stances, Signposts, and Strategies. That one focuses on close reading of nonfiction texts. And the last book listed is called Book Love, Developing Depth, Stamina, and Passion in Adolescent Readers. That's the book that we're actually going to begin with. It's all about helping your students gain a love of reading and helping them build their reading skills through free choice reading or independent reading. The final text that I'm going to ask you to purchase is I put on the syllabus. It's called I wrote on here Standards Booklet from the bookstore. That's a course packet that they are printing and putting together for you that will be in the bookstore. This is actually, all of these are going to be helpful to you once you get into the classroom. All 3 of those professional texts are books that are much used in the public schools. And the standards booklet, it's one that we have compiled. It includes the ELAR TEKS, vertically aligned from grades K through 12. It includes the English Language Proficiency Standards, the ELPS. It includes the College and Career Readiness Standards. So all of that is in there, and they're tabbed. It's a nice way to look at the standards. This is going to be really helpful to you in your student teaching as well when you're looking for the different standards that you're preparing lessons for. So those 4 texts you will use in my course, and you will also use them in Dr. Wingard's course. In addition, for one of your projects, you're going to need to choose one independent reading novel that meets the following requirements. It needs to be a piece of young adult literature. It can be fiction or nonfiction. I am perfectly okay with either. It needs to have been published between 2010 and the present. So it needs to be a new piece of young adult literature. You want to find a book that the intended audience is it's intended for kids in a grade level that you would like to teach. So if you're planning to teach middle school English, then it needs to be aimed at middle school readers. If you're planning to teach high school English, it needs to be aimed at high school readers. I will be providing you with reputable websites to go to for recommendations. I talk about a lot of books in class. You'll hear about a lot of books. What it cannot be a book that you will be teaching in your student teaching assignment. So let's say your cooperating teacher says, next 6 weeks we're going to be teaching To Kill a Mockingbird. That doesn't count, okay? I want this to be something that you would put in your classroom library that students could select to read on their own, okay? So some pleasure reading. That is young adult, either fiction or nonfiction. If you have questions about that, we can talk about it next week when we meet face to face. So I'm going to flip through the objectives and the standards, and I want to get down here to the assignments and the grades because I know you'll have questions about these before we actually meet face to face. So for Unit 1, that's when we're going to be focusing on Penny Kittle's book, Book Love, which, like I said, is all about promoting reading with kids and increasing reading motivation. For that particular project, you're going to take that young adult novel that you choose for your independent reading, you're going to read it, and then you're going to present a virtual book talk to the class, encouraging them to read the book. For that assignment, and we'll talk about this more face-to-face, you're going to use a Web 2.0 application called VoiceThread. So what will end up happening is your voice thread will look a little bit like this video that you're watching. We'll be able to see you in one thumbnail in one corner of the screen, and we'll be able to either see the cover of your book or images that you upload as you talk about the book and sell it to us. The other part of that assignment is you're going to be putting together a wish list for your future classroom library along with some rationales for the specific books you wish to include. So over the course of Unit 1, I want you to think about for when I have my own classroom, what are some books that I want to have available in my bookcase that kids can select from to read. Okay? It can be a mixture of books. You want to think about hitting everybody's interests and needs in your classroom. But again, we'll talk more about that when we get together face to face. For Unit 2, that's when we're going to read Notice and Note, the one that is geared toward fiction. For that project, you're going to take one of the lessons from Notice and Note. You're going to adapt it so that it fits within our U of H College of Education lesson plan template, and then you're going to teach that lesson to a group of kids. Some of you have already emailed me that you're not student teaching this semester. Don't worry about that. I'll help you find some kids that you can teach this lesson to, okay? So you're going to teach that lesson, and then you're going to write a reflection about it. You're going to do the same thing for Unit 3, except that this one you're going to focus on Notice and Note nonfiction. So this lesson, you're going to take one of the lessons from the book, adapt it so that it fits the U of H lesson plan template, and then you're going to teach it to a group of kids. That will be based on a nonfiction text. Next up, you're going to, at some point over the semester, attend either an author talk or a book festival. And it needs to be an author talk or a book festival aimed at middle grade readers or high school readers. That's what you guys are getting ready to teach. So I want you to find one that's suitable for that. I'll be providing you lots of suggestions, possibilities, opportunities for that. One of them is listed here on the syllabus. It's Tweens Read, and you will hear a lot about that from me over the course of the semester. So when you go to this author talk or book festival, your assignment is to listen to what's going on, learn from the authors, and if you can, ask the author a question or record, take note of a student's question to an author and how the author responds. You'll be expected to submit a reflection of this experience as part of the assignment. For each week that you all are not with me, so the weeks that we're not face-to-face, you will be asked to reflect as a teacher upon the reading and the exercises you have tried as a student. You'll have a different reflective writing prompt every week that we're not together, and you're going to do that within Blackboard using the journal tool. I'll make sure I show you how that works so that you figure out how to do it. But each time you write a reflection, I'm going to have a prompt there. I'm going to ask you a specific question. Your job will be to respond to that in the journal. Only you and I can see your journal entries. They are not visible to the entire class, but I will be able to reply to them. And the final piece of your assessment is your professional attributes. You guys are well aware of what the professional attributes are. We've been talking about them here in the College of Ed in your teacher prep program for the 2 years that you've been here. If you have questions about them, let me know. But know it's attendance, punctuality, participation, and professional behavior. Attendance and punctuality are big for me. Know that in terms of attendance, we only see each other every other week, so it's critical that you attend class. Once you've missed class 2 times, your letter grade goes down by 1/3 of a letter. So you go from an A to an A-, and then from an A- to a B+ if there is another absence. I know that many of you are out in the field student teaching. You need to make sure that your cooperating teacher knows that you have class on Thursdays at 5:30 and that you leave in plenty of time to get to U of H, get parked, and get to Farish Hall for your class. I know that you have responsibilities at the school, but you also have responsibilities at the university. So I expect you to be here on the Thursdays that we meet face-to-face, ready to go at 5:30. In addition, I have written down here about your assignments. Just like punctuality is important to me, so is the fact that your assignments are due on time. I don't accept late assignments. Of course, if there are extenuating circumstances, I'll be happy to work with you, but extenuating circumstances don't include things like, I waited until the last minute. Okay? Extenuating circumstances are usually serious events that have occurred in your life. Okay? So I'm going to stop right here. The calendar for our course is included below. Know that on the weeks where it says asynchronous online, what that means is we're not meeting face-to-face. You will have online work to do that week. And then on the other weeks, it says we're meeting face-to-face. For each week that we're not meeting face-to-face, there are things you are expected to complete for my class that week, and they're outlined in the calendar, but I will make sure to lay those out for you and communicate them to you. I'll record one other short video for our first week, giving you some information about what I want you to read and how you can access that reflective prompt in Blackboard. So this is it for this video. I'll see you face-to-face in a couple of weeks, and until then, go ahead and start working on getting your textbooks and reading chapters 1 and 2 in Book Love. Have a great day, you guys.